For the viewer at home, there's this YouTube video. First of all, there's a community of people trying to beat Super Mario 64 in as little A button presses as possible, right? So it's about how to... And this one guy had a massive video blow up where he argues he can beat a certain level in like 1.5 or 2.5 A button presses, right? Now, I argue there is, in fact... He explains how there is such a thing as half an A button press. I would argue not possible.
I think it is very brave of John to talk about this on video, to just be so confidently wrong and leave a record of himself. Even though this has been settled science for like almost a decade now.
No, I just don't accept. I can accept the premise of. First of all, let me take that back. I reject the idea of half an A button press. It's like saying there's half a hole. There's no such. You can't have half of a hole.
I knew
it's
a girl that
it's
had
just
half a hole.
yeah. Not in Bangkok, but you have the. It's A button. Once your finger touches the A button and engages whatever programming animation or whatever happens when you press, that is the A button press.
He explained
Is
the logic.
That you hold on to it.
Yeah, the argument is that you start the level with the button already down.
I don't know if I buy that.
It's because you're playing. So it's because you get your. So he's treating it like it's one level play, right? And it's the amount to be in one level play. That's how many presses. But the guy in the video, it's the full game.
Okay.
No, but from what, if I remember correctly, his argument is for this particular level, he does it in half a button press.
Yeah.
But the level exists in the context of the whole game. So yeah, okay, in that case, anything can be half of anything. Then he's playing half of a video game in that, or a whatever percentage of a video.
But
game.
he's not playing half of a video game. He's very clear that he's playing the full game. This is a full game run.
Right. Okay. So then you can just divide it. Then why not a third of a button press?
Yeah.
Because it's not a third of a button press.
Yeah,
it's
but the
half.
way I held it the third of a time.
You held it. It's about he pushed it. It's
No,
down.
I understand.
It's on or up. It's a binary state, 1 or 0. There's no third.
But if it's a
What's
binary
the third
state,
state?
how's there a half?
Exactly.
Because it's
Is he doing quantum A button presses?
No, it's down. It's neither up or down.
How do you
It-
jump
when
if the
one
button?
So how
if
can-
you're
how can
holding
it be
the button
binary?
down,
One
how does it
press
jump?
is 2 motions. One press is down and up. He did down. That's half.
That's the press.
Yeah.
Then you could. Are you counting the presses or the releases of the button also then should count?
Well, isn't the press is a jump? Yes.
So when you as soon as you press the button down, Mario jumps.
So what does holding it down have anything to do with anything? Is that like
Because
when he
he's
lets
playing.
it go, he jumps?
It's because he's playing the entire game. So he explains it like there are certain actions that Mario does when you press the button. There are certain actions that happen when it's already held down, and there are certain actions that happen when it's released. But he goes in the level with it already held down. So that means it's doing certain things that he needs Mario to do in order to complete
Right. So
this level.
that half of a button press that he's talking about is in the context of a larger full button press. So then it's half of an animation, or it's half of a loading time, or it's half of the. So then anything can be half. So there's no such thing as half the button, because you can't do half of a button press.
Should we watch
It's a-
him with it? I don't. I'll cut it. Well, this is definitely a clip.
It's like
this is definitely going on YouTube as
it's like.
I don't know if you guys want.
epistemologically-
I don't think you guys want this as a clip because you look very stupid here.
No, first of all, the video's 25
You look
minutes
very
long, so we're just gonna sit here
closed-minded.
for a while. But if you just say I'm only counting the time frame in which half of the action occurs, then sure. it's
John,
half
he's
of a
playing the full game,
I
and he's
understand.
talking about how many times he's pressing the button
Right.
from when he starts the game till he gets his last star.
button. Right.
It is
So that but then he has like, let's say he did the whole game in 4 button presses.
yes.
Then there's 8 halves of button presses happening, just in the sense that you can divide a number by 2.
But it's not just in the sense you can divide the number
What
by
is the
2. There
gap?
are certain actions that he discovered he could do while the button was already down. That's what the point of the video is.
What
Right,
is-
but that's not half. That's like a programming thing. That's not half of the button pressing.
The entire one-star run community is based on programming things. It's about finding glitches.
No. What I'm saying is
fair.
what occurs when a game, there's like variation, sure, between holding it, coming into the level, not pressing the button, holding it down or tapping it or whatever. I understand that, right? Pressing and holding, pressing and tapping, and not tapping it are all, or not tapping it, but are all full button presses regardless. So what happens if I held the button down the whole time and I managed to beat the game, and I held the button down till I died? Would you say that was half of a button press for my entire life?
No, because it rounds up. He explains this literally in the video
So
that
how-
you're speaking so
So
confidently on.
how can it round up and then be half?
He's
It
saying
only rounds up when it's convenient.
no. He literally explains this. He literally explains this in the video.
Okay, what,
In a single star run, in a 1-star run, it rounds up because you pressed it once. But in the full game, it rounds down because you don't need to press it again. You already pressed it. It's baked in.
Right, but he's choosing to ignore in the one level, watch for falling rocks or whatever it's called. He's just choosing to ignore. Yeah, sure.
You're choosing to ignore his logic. He
No,
explains
listen,
this.
because no. Because yeah, it's half of a button press because he just stops counting before the full button press is completed.
No, it's because he's counting how many butt presses from the beginning of the game to the end of the game.
Right.
He pressed the button while he was in the stage select screen or somewhere else, and he was able to hold it down and complete the level without lifting it up. And
But
he
that's
gets
the
to
same.
bake
Okay,
that
like
in.
let's say it's like a timeline on a movie, like in Adobe Premiere or something, right? And when he's filming this, right? So before he loads into the level, it's pressed, right? And then by the time, whenever he disengages it, when he counts, it's a full button press. That's one button press, right?
Yes.
So then in between, in the middle, he's engaging, he's playing the level. That's just a subsection of a full button press. It's all the same. It's not its own individual half of a button press. It's just the button press, and he's cutting the timeline short to make
He's
it
not cutting the timeline short. The timeline is not one level. The timeline is a full game.
right. No, but I'm saying the timeline in the sense of the record of all the button presses that happened. He's just cut that out, those frames, and saying like this is half of a button press, as if that could be isolated in itself without the greater context of the full
John,
button.
we did not just fall out of a coconut tree.
There's no such. There can't be. I agree with Yoshi, whatever the commenter that he dunks on for that whole video, Yoshi 124 or whatever. He's right. You can't have half a button press.
one of the most like comics on this Reddit thread is, can this guy like study quantum physics or something?
I do wonder how many scientific advancements we've lost because of the speedrunning community and
Yeah.
similar things.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that he's not beating the level without completing a button press. I understand that, but that is happening within one full button press.
But that's not what he's saying.
Maybe I missed something, but one of the things I don't understand is how he triggers or postpones the PU jumps.
the
Why doesn't-
parallel universe jumps.
Why doesn't he immediately leap into a parallel universe every time his speed would put him in a valid position?
I think it was because he was running into the wall properly. But
that's a
this
dumb
is the
question.
no. I mean, it's not a dumb question. It's a smart question because I don't have an answer for it. It's pretty complicated because this stuff is based on like very complicated glitches, and it took a very long time for people to find this stuff out.
He uses an emulator and emulator hacks.
Okay, they think he's a fraud.
I don't know enough about
But
it,
yeah,
but
I think
we
that's
were
the hater. I don't think he's a fraud.
we were discussing bricks and minifig situation.
Yeah.
We're gonna let the YouTubers. We're gonna let the
Just talk
YouTube
about-
dictate
Anyway,
the rest of
there's
this
no
argument.
such thing as there's no such thing as half a button press. It's only you
You're
just
ki-
stop
you're-
perceiving after.
John,
as
you're about to
someone-
get cooked in the
no,
comments.
no.
As someone who doesn't play these games or like isn't really into the, I really kind of don't know what you're talking about. The idea of a half button press seems retarded to me, and just like, unless there is a trick, which these games are old enough to where that doesn't exist, like some kind of tension situation where it does different things.
Yeah,
like
if there was like
halfway
a
pressing.
pressure sensitive gradient,
Which
or
does
whatever.
exist
Yeah.
now, like
I
on-
would
on
still say
PlayStation
that's
controllers and stuff.
even a button press. Like, when you like tilt the stick a little bit,
But
your character walks.
but
and
Scott-
then
It's
you
just a
put-
different type of button press.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Scott, you get the idea that like you're playing a full game, right? Say it's
Okay.
4 levels,
Okay.
and you press the A button on the first level, and you hold it down all the way through.
That seems like an insane way to play a game.
But that's what the community
That's what
is.
the guy
It's
did,
about the
yeah.
community is literally it's an insane thing to do. Single star runs is a mentally ill thing to do. That's what they're doing. That's what we're discussing.
Yeah, well, it sounds mentally ill.
Yeah, but see, like you have that button held down, right? You're playing the full game, right? Would you count that as 4 button presses because of every time you start a new level, or is that 1 button press?
4.
No,
Well, okay, I see. I'm trying to think of an analogy.
It's still
for
a
this.
press, though. He pressed
it's
the
1
button.
press.
I think
Where's that a
it's
half?
like,
Where's the half come in?
Because
That
when
because
you
he didn't release it?
well, let's say
You
you
press it down, that's a press.
let's say you press it, but it's because he's holding it down, right? Let's say look at it this way. What if he enters the level, right? So you press it once at the start, right? You're holding it down for level 1. Then you're in level 2, and you have to press it again. That's a second press. But then you hold it down through level 3. Now for levels 2 and 3, it's 1 press, 2 levels. That's half a press.
That's dividing it among the averages. Sure.
Because because it's a full game run. You have to divide it.
Yeah, if you're breaking it down like that, but it's still there was no action that took place. That's called half.
There is an action. It's being held down.
When people say
I agree with what he's saying.
When
It's
people
like
say
you're
the average family has 2.5 kids, for example, you know what I mean? When talking about population, there's not a torso in a family.
Yeah, it's
You've
an average,
averaged out the number of full people.
Yeah, it only exists in a mathematical
right.
Yeah,
the actual
equation.
physical world.
But this is a mathematical equation.
Yeah, but the idea that a half button press is a thing in reality on its own doesn't exist.
Can you show me on your phone or on a remote on a thing? Can you execute half a button press?
I can execute half a rotary turn.
Yeah, sure.
So
because we understand the full
yeah.
circle is a full return. Everyone understands.
Well, not even. No, that's not what I mean. Like say a turn to 1. So you hit 1 and then you release, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say I just go to 1.
That's still an action. That's still a turn.
That's half, and now I just hold it there. That's half. I did half of it.
No, because
You
it's already
turned it all the way to 1.
No, the full action is not turning it to 1. The full action is turning to 1 and releasing it.
I don't think so.
The releasing it doesn't
undo the turn.
Yeah.
Not.
And
well,
also,
it does there mechanically, but that's not the
Yes,
point.
that is the point. That's literally the point. That's
yeah,
how
but
the
you're
controller
saying
works.
That, but based on the level thing you're saying is that's only half. The button press you're saying only becomes half because he held it through 2 levels.
Yes.
Yes. That's what it is.
So that's not. So that's irrelevant. What you just said.
No, it's the same thing.
Released the thing.
If this was my controller, if I play a Mario game where I control it by turning a rotary phone, then that would be the same mechanic.
But you're saying that makes it half because he didn't release it.
Yes.
But what makes it half in the game is because there's 2 levels.
Yes.
So what does releasing
so then you
it have
can't
to do
do
with
a
anything?
1 level with half a turn.
He's not, but he's saying in the context of a full game run.
It's averaged out, sure.
Yes.
Sure, but he didn't.
He's doing full game runs.
He did not mechanically execute half of a button press.
He's saying in the context of a full game run, he's very clear about this.
So he doesn't make. I mean, I have to watch the video. Dan's looking at me for some kind of confirmation. I can't be
because I feel like you're coming. I feel like you're coming around. I feel like I'm getting you.
Okay, no, in speedrunning.
I feel like it's semantics. This guy is just trying to pull off some game.
And I'm also doing this because I'm trying to
it's like refurbishing a system and putting tape over it and being like, this is how it works.
I'm not trying to get one over on you. I'm trying to get one over on him. He's a lost cause. He is stubborn. He has made up his mind. He chooses to live in the darkness. You are open-minded.
Out of all the arguments I've never been willing to concede, this might be the one where I will put no fight up. But the idea of it, based on the way it's being explained to me, I have to take John's side. Because unless you're saying that it only exists because of math, which is fine, but then it's just
that is what he's saying.
Yeah, but that's just bullshit.
It's not bullshit.
Not real.
It is real.
It's like if we go back to the regular.
I mean, it's literally a math question.
Yeah, but it's not a half.
But it is a math question. He's answering a math question.
The way it's being categorized.
It's half of a button press.
Sure.
It's not half a button press.
It's the same thing.
It's not a half button press. Yeah. It is being. It's like when they name a bill the Freedom Bill and they just go through all your stuff.
That's not even close to this what we're talking about.
I just feel like the name of it is misconstruing what it actually is.
Well, if you go back to like the regular speedrun community, you know, people do full game speedruns, and then also sometimes they'll grind out individual levels or
semantic error, not speedrun.
I know, I understand. All right, don't.
I mean, this stuff's very important.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying like people will like grind out individual levels or like laps in Mario Kart or something. But then there's also like the full Grand Prix speedruns. So you can't take like your best, and then what's a faux pas in the speedrunning community is to splice together your best takes and then present it as one full run, right? That's wrong to do.
Fair.
So this guy saying he has half a button press is taking the full game run and then cutting out a part of it and then presenting it as its own thing.
But he's not doing that because he's not taking it out because it is a full game run. It's in the context of a full game run. He's very clear about that.
So it's only half a button press because he didn't get to the part where he finishes pressing the button.
Because it's a different level.
Right. But if you were to...
Because the level ended.
Yes.
If you were to do a individual level minimum button press thing, that button press would still count as one.
Yes.
You couldn't.
He says this.
Yeah.
He says that in the video.
Okay.
He says if it's a single star run, it rounds up. If it's a full game run, it rounds down.
Sure. Okay, but then you could say that for anything.
No.
Yes, you could say anything's half of it. Then I would say I can do it in a third of a button press.
You can't, because you literally can't. There's not 3 parts of it.
There's 3 states. Well, I cut the video in a third, and that's the third of the action was completed.
A third of the action was not completed.
If a third of the animation,
So if you ran it through 3 levels, it's a third of a
If
button
you
press.
had the button in
well, how about that? If I managed to complete 3 levels with 1 button press, could I have said I did it in a third of a button press?
No, because it's either up or down. Those are the states.
But they only exist. The half only exists. Has nothing to do with the states. It's because
It has everything
Like
to do
Mario
with the
jumps
states.
But
as
it's
soon as
because
you press it, nothing happens when you release the button.
that
Yes,
was
it
gonna
does.
be my second question.
Something happens when the button's held down. That's the whole point.
No, but when you release it, does it do anything?
Yes. I can't remember
What?
exactly what, but he
I don't think
explains
so.
this.
I think as soon as you press the button, Mario jumps, and
That's
if you
what I
hold it down,
assumed.
I don't think there's another action.
There are other actions. This is the entire point of the video. He discovered that there are other actions.
Well, let's agree that you're gay and wrong. How about that? Can we reach a middle ground there?
We've come
How
to a
about-
conclusion.
Yeah.
I see we've come to a consensus.
I think this is the very often like Dan's right, but we hate the way that he's being right.
No. I just don't like the way. Okay, here's my final.
I think
final.
we're all we're
my
tired of
final
trying to
thought-
convince Dan he's not
This
right.
is my final argument. Averaged out across the entire run, yes, it's half a thing just because you've decided to average the total number of things out.
It's not just because you've
that's what it
decided. That was
sounds like.
literally what the purpose of the video was.
But that's what he sounds like. What everything being described, that sounds like that is what's happening. And the 3-level thing makes sense as to why it would be a third of a
But
button
that is
press.
what's happening. That's why the video exists.
But you're saying that it's because that there's like a down and release.
Yes, he says this. in the
Okay,
video.
is it because there's a down and release, or is it because there's 2 levels? What
No,
makes it a half button press?
It's both.
So why
It's
is that a
both.
quarter then?
Yes, it is. Because the point is that the states exist.
So what happens if it's 2 things but it's 3 levels? Because if it's both, then there has to be some accounting being taken into the fact that it's 3 levels.
No, it's either that it happens or it doesn't.
So then, the 2 level thing is irrelevant.
It's very relevant because the point is here. It's not the fact that it's 2 divided by 2. It's that it's already down, so you don't add 1 more. It's not that you're dividing it in half. It's that you're not doing a plus 1.
This guy wants to have his cake and eat it too, and I don't like
I'm
it.
not trying to have my
All
cake
right,
and eat it too.
My final point in my last 30 seconds before I walk.
You
out.
guys are, you guys
I
are
will walk
basically,
out.
you guys
This
are
is really what he
basically
brought you here
saying
for.
Hold on,
the,
we'll let
the
the
Earth
comments
is
decide.
flat.
Here-
That's
here-
what you're doing.
it
The
looks-
Earth is flat. I don't care that someone said 2,000 years
Not
ago
the
that
Earth is
it's
flat. We're not the Earth is flat.
This
I
is
don't know,
ours.
really.
This is settled
This
science.
is my
I'm just
point.
throwing gas on
In
the
the
fire.
way,
That's what I'm here for.
in the way people say the average family is 2.5 kids, there's no such thing as half a kid. In most cases, that is what this guy is counting half a
Brian
button.
Boucher.
Yeah, yeah, is counting half of a button press as, which is not in the real world a half of a button press. It's a full button press. He's just averaging it out. That's my point.
I agree with that.
I don't.
Yeah. Well, the comments, nerds, do your
Nerds,
thing.
yeah.
They're going to be on my side. This is settled science.
Science. I like that.
Someone
We-
could. It's not impossible that someone's written a PhD on this.
The
I'll
world
say,
we live
okay,
in.
this is the challenge. I will totally admit I'm wrong when someone goes outside and digs half of a hole. I will accept that there is half a button press.
There are 2 states of a
That's a good
hole. It's
point.
dug and it's filled.
That's
no,
not, whoa,
no, that's
no.
a bad argument.